My brother Daniel's promotion party filled our parents' backyard with bankers, financial analysts, and relatives who measured success in titles and corner offices. Assistant Vice President of Commercial Lending, Uncle Mike read from Daniel's new business card. That's impressive. 28 years old and already AVP at First Republic. Daniel beamed, loosening his tie in that casual executive way he'd perfected. 3 years of grinding. 80-hour weeks. But it paid off. Salary jumped to $140,000 plus bonus structure. The crowd applauded. Mom actually teared up. I stood near the drinks table checking my phone. 6:47 p.m. 13 minutes until the Technology Innovation Summit Awards ceremony started streaming. Ryan. Dad called out, waving me over. Come congratulate your brother properly. I walked over. Shook Daniel's hand. Congrats. That's a solid promotion. Thanks, man, Daniel said, then turned back to his audience. The best part is the stability. Banking is real career progression. Not like these tech startups that implode every year. Several people glanced at me. I smiled blandly. Ryan's still doing his computer thing, Mom explained to Aunt Carol. Working from home. Very independent. What exactly do you do, Ryan? Aunt Carol asked with polite interest. Software development, I said. Cloud infrastructure specifically. He builds websites, Daniel translated dismissively. Apps and stuff. It's fine for a hobby, but I keep telling him, banking, finance, law, those are real careers with real futures. I'm not building websites, I said quietly. Whatever, Daniel continued. The point is, in banking you have structure. Hierarchy. A path to partnership. Ryan's out there freelancing or whatever, no benefits, no security. It's risky. Uncle Mike nodded sagely. My neighbor's kid did the tech thing. Lost everything when his startup failed. Now he's selling insurance. Exactly. Daniel said. That's what I'm talking about. Tech is a gamble. Banking is stability. I checked my phone again. 6:52 p.m. Are you even listening? Daniel asked, irritated. Sorry, I said. I have something at 7. Need to step inside. Something more important than your brother's promotion? Mom's voice carried that familiar disappointment. Just something I need to handle, I said. Daniel laughed. See? That's the tech life. Always on call. Always hustling. No work-life balance. In banking, when I leave the office, I'm done. You just said you work 80-hour weeks, I pointed out. That's different, Daniel said. It's building a career. What you do is just keeping busy. I excused myself and went inside to the living room. Opened my laptop. Connected to the live stream. The Technology Innovation Summit was the industry's biggest event. 10,000 attendees, every major tech CEO, streaming to hundreds of thousands of viewers globally. Tonight they were announcing the Young Innovator Award. Given annually to someone under 35 who'd made significant contributions to technology infrastructure. I'd been nominated 3 months ago. My company, StreamScale, had been selected as one of 3 finalists. I hadn't told my family. What was the point? They'd called my work internet stuff for 6 years. They'd suggested I get a real job at least once per family gathering. Daniel had introduced me to his banking friends as my brother who does tech support. At 7 p.m. exactly, the live stream began. Build up. The summit's opening was slick. Graphics, music, shots of the massive convention center in San Francisco. The host, a well-known tech journalist, took the stage. Welcome to the Technology Innovation Summit Awards ceremony. Tonight, we recognize the individuals and companies reshaping our digital infrastructure. Through the living room window, I could see the party continuing. Daniel holding court, gesturing with his drink, probably telling another story about closing a big loan. The first award went to a cybersecurity researcher, then a quantum computing team, then an AI ethics advocate. Our next award is one of our most prestigious, the host said. The Young Innovator Award recognizes someone under 35 who has fundamentally changed how we build and scale technology. This year's finalists represent the cutting edge of cloud infrastructure, distributed systems, and developer tools. The screen showed 3 photos. 2 people I didn't recognize. And me. Ryan Matthews, the host read, founder and CEO of StreamScale. His company pioneered elastic container orchestration that's now industry standard. Streamscale's platform powers over 40% of cloud-native applications globally. My stomach tightened. This was really happening. The other finalists are equally impressive, the host continued, describing their achievements. But this year's winner has not only built groundbreaking technology, they've made it accessible, affordable, and essential to modern development. I heard footsteps. Daniel walked into the living room. Hey, Mom wants you back outside for the toast. What are you watching? Tech conference, I said. Daniel glanced at the screen. Rolled his eyes. Of course you are. Ryan's my party. Can you at least pretend to care? I do care, I said. I congratulated you. Barely, Daniel said. Look, I get it. You're jealous. I have a real career with a real promotion and you're stuck doing freelance work. But hiding in here watching nerd stuff isn't going to change that. I'm not freelancing, I said. Whatever you call it, Daniel said. The point is banking is stable. What you do is precarious. No offense, but Mom and Dad worry about you. We all do. On screen, the host was opening an envelope. This year's Young Innovator Award goes to Ryan Matthews of Streamscale. The audience erupted in applause. The camera cut to me, or rather, to footage of me from earlier that day when I'd accepted the award in person at the ceremony. Daniel's face went blank. Wait. What? I need to hear this, I said, turning up the volume. On screen, past me walked onto the stage, accepted a crystal trophy, stepped to the microphone. Thank you so much, my recorded voice said. 6 years ago, I started Streamscale in a one-bedroom apartment with $8,000 in savings. I saw developers struggling with container orchestration. It was complex, expensive, and fragile. I built something simpler. Daniel was staring at the screen like it was in a foreign language. Today, Streamscale powers infrastructure for companies like Netflix, Spotify, and Amazon Web Services. Our platform handles over 3 billion requests per day. We've reduced deployment complexity by 90% and costs by 70% for our clients. The camera showed the audience. Thousands of developers, CTOs, tech executives, giving a standing ovation. This award represents more than personal achievement, I continued on screen. It represents a philosophy. Technology should be accessible, reliable, and elegant. It should solve real problems, not create new ones. I paused, holding up the trophy. To everyone who told me to get a stable job, to pursue a traditional career, to stop wasting time on internet stuff. Thank you. You taught me to trust my own vision instead of other people's expectations. More applause. I walked off stage. Daniel hadn't moved. Hadn't spoken. That was you, he finally said. That was actually you. Yes. At a tech conference. Winning an award. Yes. For your company? Streamscale, I said. I founded it 6 years ago. We have 340 employees across 8 countries. Last year we did $280 million in revenue. We're valued at $2.1 billion as of our Series D funding round. Daniel sat down heavily on the couch. 2.1 billion? Yes. You run $1 billion company? Yes. And you just let us think you were doing freelance work? I tried to explain, I said. Multiple times. You called it internet stuff, and told me to get a real career. Everyone did. Eventually, I stopped trying to correct you. Revelation. Outside, I heard Mom calling, Daniel? Ryan? We're ready for the toast. Daniel stood up mechanically. I need to tell them. Tell them what? I asked. About this. About your company. About the award. Why? Daniel looked at me like I was insane. Because you just won a major tech award. Because your company is worth billions. Because this is huge. It's been huge for 6 years, I said. You just didn't notice. I stood up, closed my laptop, and walked back outside to the party. Everyone was gathered near the makeshift bar, champagne glasses raised. Mom saw me and smiled. There you are. We're toasting Daniel's success. Daniel followed me out, still looking dazed. To Daniel, Dad said, raising his glass. Assistant Vice President of Commercial Lending. We're so proud of your hard work and achievement. Everyone drank. Actually, Daniel said slowly, I need to say something. The crowd quieted. I just learned something about Ryan, Daniel continued. About his work. We all thought he was doing small-scale tech work. Freelancing. But he's actually. Daniel, I interrupted quietly. Don't. No, they need to know, Daniel insisted. He pulled out his phone, typed something, held up the screen. Ryan just won the Young Innovator Award at the Technology Innovation Summit. His company, StreamScale, is worth over $2 billion. Silence. Complete total silence. Uncle Mike laughed nervously. That's a joke, right? Google it, Daniel said. Ryan Matthews StreamScale. It's all there. Phones came out. Typing. Gasps. Oh my God, Aunt Carol whispered. Forbes article from last month. Ryan Matthews, 29, built cloud infrastructure giant StreamScale from bedroom startup. Dad's champagne glass slipped from his hand, shattering on the patio. Mom was scrolling frantically. TechCrunch says your company powers 40% of cloud applications. Is that true? Yes, I said simply. Wall Street Journal, Uncle Mike read aloud. StreamScale raises $400 million Series D at $2.1 billion valuation. Ryan, is this real? Yes. But you work from home, Mom said, confused. You dress casually. You never talk about clients or deals or... I talk about my work constantly, I corrected. He just never listened. You called it internet stuff and changed the subject. Dad found his voice. Why didn't you tell us it was this successful? I tried, I said. 2 years ago when we hit $100 million in revenue, I mentioned it at Christmas. Daniel said I was exaggerating. Last year when Forbes put me on their 30 under 30 list, I brought it up at Easter. Mom said it was nice but probably not as impressive as Daniel's promotion to senior analyst. We didn't understand, Mom protested. You didn't ask, I said. There's a difference. You saw I worked from home, wore jeans and enjoyed my job, and you decided it must not be serious. You chose banking and law as your metrics for success and dismissed everything else. Daniel was still staring at his phone. It says you have 340 employees. Correct. And Netflix uses your platform? They're one of our largest clients. Your annual revenue is $280 million? Last year. Projecting $420 million this year. Uncle Mike whistled. Jesus, Ryan. Your company makes more in a year than Daniel's entire bank branch processes. Daniel flinched. That's not a fair comparison, I said quickly. Daniel's career is legitimate. Banking is important. My path isn't better than his, it's just different. But you let us mock you, Daniel said quietly. For years. You stood there while I told everyone banking was a real career and tech was just internet stuff. Yes, I agreed. I did. Why? Because I was tired of fighting for validation, I said. Every time I tried to explain what I was building, someone interrupted with advice about getting a stable job. Eventually I decided to just build it. Let the results speak for themselves. Resolution. The party continued, but the energy had shifted. People kept approaching me with questions. How did I start the company? What does cloud infrastructure actually mean? Could I explain what StreamScale does? I answered patiently. Explained in simple terms. Showed them our website on my phone. Daniel found me an hour later near the edge of the yard. I'm sorry, he said. For all of it. For calling your work internet stuff. For telling you to get a real career. For acting like banking was superior to what you were doing. Hey, I said. I was jealous, Daniel admitted. You were always smarter than me. Better at math, at problem solving, at building things. I went into banking because it was something I could succeed at through effort and networking. Something that looked impressive. When you went into tech, I was terrified you'd be massively successful and make me look mediocre. So you tried to make me look unsuccessful first, I said. Yes, Daniel said. I'm sorry. Your promotion is still an achievement, I said. AVP at 28 is genuinely impressive. You should be proud. I am, Daniel said. But standing next to a guy who built $1 billion company, it feels smaller. Only because you're comparing, I said. We're on different paths. Both valid. Mom and Dad approached together. Ryan, we owe you an apology, Dad said. A big one. We dismissed your work for years. We compared you unfavorably to Daniel. We suggested you were being irresponsible. Yes, I agreed. You did all of that. We didn't understand tech, Mom said. We still don't really. But that's not an excuse. We should have listened. We should have asked questions. We should have believed you. What can we do? Dad asked. How do we fix this? I thought about it. 6 years of dismissal. 6 years of get a real job, and banking is stable and internet stuff. You can't fix it, I said honestly. You can acknowledge it, apologize for it, and do better going forward. But you can't undo 6 years of not believing in me. Are you going to cut us off? Mom asked, tears forming. No, I said. You're my family. I love you. But our relationship is different now. You'll have to earn back the trust you lost. That's fair, Dad said quietly. Daniel cleared his throat. For what it's worth, I looked up the Young Innovator Award. It's a huge deal. Past winners include the founders of Docker, Kubernetes, and GitHub. You're an elite company. I know, I said. Your acceptance speech was good too, Daniel added. The part about trusting your own vision instead of other people's expectations. That was about us, wasn't it? Yes. Damn, Daniel said. I deserved that. 3 months have passed since the party. Daniel calls occasionally, awkward conversations where he asks about my company and actually listens to the answers. He's making an effort. Mom and Dad visited my office last month. Saw the 3 floors of developers, the server rooms, the conference centers where we host client meetings. Dad didn't say much, but I saw him tearing up when my CTO explained how Streamscale technology powers infrastructure for millions of applications. Last week, Streamscale announced our partnership with Microsoft Azure. The press release mentioned my Young Innovator Award. Daniel texted, "Congrats. That's genuinely impressive. I'm proud of you." I texted back, "Thanks. How's the AVP role going?" Daniel, "Good. Closed a $40 million commercial loan yesterday. Not billion-dollar tech deals, but it felt good. Me, that is impressive. Seriously." And I meant it. He chose banking. I chose tech. Both are real careers. Both matter. The difference is I never needed his path to be smaller to make mine bigger. He's still learning that lesson. But he's learning.